sort of put you out of your paces. And so we'll see whether or not Luminosity can get a good start here on the T side, the favored side of Cobblestone. JW already off to some shenanigans.
That's a very quick boost indeed. See how patient he will be. You can hear PKL jumping around, but PKL seems to know that somebody might be there. It can be difficult to jump on the crate as well, so perhaps a sound cue is given away. Crim's just about missing all the information. So, pissed around. It's going to be about the headshots. JW finally spotted. Considering backing off, he can back off if he wants to. Crims has been taken down towards long A in the meantime, so perhaps a rotation is needed, and one is coming in for the CT side. But it seems Luminosity are content with that pick and showing some presence for the time being.
Yeah, it's definitely looking very slow at the moment. And Flusher might want to start asking some questions. We can see he's the player for Fnatic that might be sort of the wild card in this scenario. He's going to take the risk for the team to try to get them back into the round somehow. And he's got some information, but they don't know about the guy that's actually in danger. So I wonder if Flusher's going to run into him. And Showtime's actually going to be running into Flusher. So that is a very nice pickup there for Fnatic. Now they just have to hit these shots with the USPs. It's going pretty well. There's less than 30 seconds for the bomb to be planted for Luminosity. So really time is of the essence. And they're trying to take the fights. And Cello and Yell able to actually win their duels respectively. There's still a chance here for Luminosity.
Bomb is finally planted. Cello trying to do what he can, trying to get the 1v1. Doesn't want to allow these CTs to work together. And now it's Cello alone versus 2. He won't be able to do it. Dancing around the structure while he was reloading, but wasn't able to do much. So here we are. Flusher will defuse the bomb, and that will be Fnatic off to a good start on the CT side. Definitely want to win that pistol round. Flusher will get a cheap helmet upgrade as well, $350 and bonus money for him. And he may even opt for an M4. He will indeed. That's always a nice bonus if you have gone for armor in the first round over grenades and you don't take any damage to the Kevlar, then you can often pick up an M4.
I really appreciate the choice from Luminosity to go super slow as well, because Fnatic is that team that will play aggressively, the team that will, potentially, stick their necks out there on a risk. And I like that Luminosity sort of recognize this. They try to catch them or sort of bait them into doing something like that. Fnatic did do something like that with the boost on JW and so on, and Luminosity did catch it. So I like that we have this clear preparation from Luminosity. They've obviously thought about this matchup against Fnatic and have that experience from the previous events as well. So it's going to be interesting to see now how they play this force buy. I love the double AKs on this sort of situation, because this could really catch Fnatic off guard. Does Fnatic think that they're going to do the classic save then buy? This could be huge, and look how far they're trying to play just contact as far up as possible to give away the game that they have AKs and armors as late as possible.
Crims is popping into danger. No, he's not. No, he's not. Ignore me entirely. I'm lying. I'm lying to my audience. I apologize. I've been exposed. Flusher with the Molotov. That will be just in time. However, there is a nasty surprise. The AK straight to the jaw. And Luminosity, again, they're taking this very seriously. It's a great opportunity, the ECS finals for them. They don't want to overcommit, overextend, make any mistakes. So they've got that pick, but they've got 40 seconds on the clock. Maybe 2 to 3 players have been spotted by Luminosity. And it seems PKL is going to show some presence towards B, or at least find out what options are available to Luminosity. But now the clock is ticking. They still have some smoke grenades, which are now being deployed. But speaking of which, look at that late grenade from Fnatic. However, behind that smoke, Fnatic will put 3 players, but they've gone to the wrong site. But Crims will get the 2K and the bomb. So he's pretty much shut this round down.
Yeah, that's a massive play. 15 seconds, they have to sprint all the way to the plant, and we have Golden there looking to try to get himself in. Not a great weapon for the job, but there is an M4 in JW's hands, and he'll be able to get betrayed out. But the bomb will be planted in the nick of time, and JW wants to play it slow, but PKL goes for the push there, trying to catch him off guard. Showtime able to hold things down, as Letcro now is the last man standing for Fnatic, and coming into a position unknown to Showtime, but still, he's going to close it down. And wow, there were so many things that could have gone wrong for Luminosity, but they did manage to eventually make the plan work, and that's it. They've got the reset on Fnatic. They know that Fnatic have to force by now. They've got Fnatic sort of in there, well, wrapped around their little finger at the moment.
Really nice from Showtime. 3 kills in that round from him. He looks ready. Looks like he's had his warm-up. 1-2-1. The force buy does come out from Fnatic. Pistols and a few grenades. Again, they've got the smokes. And Luminosity are a team who are not afraid to play the slow game. So if Fnatic can hold on to these smokes, as they did in the previous rounds, then maybe they can cause some problems. But that's an important early one from JW, and the Brazilians will force their way through. But he does get a second headshot on Nekiz, who does trade. And again, again, Luminosity, they don't have anyone towards A. There might be a fair chance of a push towards A with that action going on towards B, a push from Fnatic, so they'll take a very wide check of A, including Nekkers going through T spawn with 5 HP. So this is a tricky position for Luminosity. Slowly, I mean, they have over a minute on the clock, so they've got time to clear out these areas, but they've basically got 3 players in this situation.
Yeah, and Fnatic, you can never really sleep on them in these spots. They're so, I mean, the amount of times I've seen a player like Flusher actually is probably a prime example for me. Just being a playmaker, we know how efficient he is with grenades. He's probably one of the best professionals that there is just at grenade usage. This is something that, if you are an aspiring player, he's one of the men to study as far as how you utilize that the utility to gain advantages and create plays. And he can often be quite sneaky, but obviously in this spot, this is one of the difficulties of Cobblestone. It can be hard to find an opening, hard to be sneaky. And so in reality, waiting for Luminosity is what Fnatic are doing, looking to just have some good positions, read Luminosity's movement and connect those shots, because here it comes, the B push.
Yeah, the split is there, but Golden, I don't think it's been spotted just yet from PKL, but PKL can't really capitalize because there are other CTs in play. 3 versus 2. Neck is still alive with 5 HP. Maybe he will be a 4th man after all. Definitely needs to in this 2-on-2. 8 seconds to plant the bomb, and the CTs are ready to punish. Flusher with the 2K, who else with the CZ? And Fnatic win the force. So one would expect Luminosity to force straight back in this situation. They would only be able to afford 1 AK this time, though. Showtime, the only man with 2,700 or more. What is he going to do? He hasn't spent a dime yet. He's gone for the scout and armor instead of an AK drop, which I don't think is the best play here, because Cobblestone isn't the best map. It's not the most accessible map, if you will, for snipers. So to opt for a scout and armor instead of an AK is a question mark for me.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll see how it works out. Perhaps he's a scout god, but Crims is going to be holding things down here. His play has been remarkable. It's really nice to see that return to form, the old Crims. The original Fnatic, sort of showing his head once again. And that triple is certainly going to cripple for Luminosity, and there may be no coming back in this situation for them. We've got JW with a spot there, some key information. Spray coming in, just cautiously containing them. Will fall back there. Obviously, the 4 versus 2 can play this one super safe and use your teammates as best as you can. You can see Fnatic just probing once again, going for the 1v1 for Flusher. So just ignore what I said. I suppose that is just Fnatic. Swedish players, they love to fight. That's one thing we know about Counter-Strike, and you can see it there. Flusher straight in for the frag, and now it's just Showtime looking to get some damage here, opting to use the Deagle instead of the Scouts. Obviously, the one-shot potential there from the Deagle is greater than the Scout in that sense. That there are, everyone is not tagged up. And there it is, closing it down. So, again, pretty remarkable, and to me, it's just Fnatic, isn't it? That they were in such an awful position. Luminosity, they played it really, really well. You can see so much thought has gone into their strategies, their tactics, their team play, and coordination. Yet Fnatic, they always just find a way somehow.
While Showtime did get a kill with the Scout in that round, I think that if they have an AK instead, then their entire approach is different and they don't lose so many players so early. So I really think the Scout was low value in comparison to dropping an AK to someone, especially considering what they did in the previous round. But there we go. There isn't necessarily a wrong option. It's just about preference and what you want to achieve as a team. No Kevlar this round for Luminosity. It is eco time after losing the Battle of the Force Buys. And Fnatic are in a good spot if they can survive with players. They've got 4 rifles out on the board. They've got pretty good armor penetration despite people's lamentations of it. I wouldn't go as far as to say hatred, but not many people are fans. 5 on 2, so it seems that not much may happen for Luminosity. Flush has got 4 HP, but I'm sure he can let his take the more aggressive angle.
It's kind of scary how well Fnatic have stabilized here, because especially when you're in that spot where you lose the football against the Force Buy, you get your economy reset. It can be one of the most troubling positions to be on in Cobblestone. Like, I love that Luminosity set that up again, sort of just throwing credit their way, because on Cobblestone, if you don't have your economy rolling in as the CT side, early on, and that's like one of the worst cases from that perspective, you are crippled for so very long. But now we have that, obviously, the reverse situation where Fnatic are going to be in a spot soon where they won't be running out of money. If they can cleanly close out this round, which looks like it could be quick, especially as there is almost no utility for Luminosity, then Fnatic will be in an amazing place. Luminosity cannot really allow them to build the bank in the way that they are. They've got to make this round effective. They've got the AKs to do so. But the aggression from JW, again on Plateau, has been great so far.
Standard stuff from JW. I don't even know if he saw anyone in that situation, and that might be something they've prepared for. They've looked at what Luminosity like to do in a round such as this, and he's just going for the usual positions. Great kill through the smoke there. His traits eventually get punished, and now Luminosity are in a good position. 4 on 3. They still have 4 smokes on their... Well, they've got smokes on all their players, and with the limited utility they have, I think a wall of smoke towards B might be quite likely, although that might change now they've got 2 men picked off from the Fnatic side. They are heading towards B though, waiting for these aggressive smokes to disappear. 2 flashes as well to go over the wall should they want to head in this direction. Not much left in the hole for Fnatic here. 2 counter flashes if they have an opportunity. They've put 2 of the 3 players towards the B bomb site. Golden rotating, avoiding the flashbang. It's time to fight though.
Oh, the spray not working out for Golden, and it's going to be Crims who's last man standing. And I did wonder as well, Fnatic, they were in this 3v5, Crims was sort of deep in the A-long position. I was surprised that he didn't just decide to make a play as they were so far behind. But that's sometimes an expected result, and Luminosity might be looking for that. They may be trying to play, they might be trying to bait Fnatic into those kinds of moves, and if they kill Crims, then obviously Fnatic are in a much worse position. So it becomes a very difficult spot, and that is just cobblestone to an extent. It's very hard to get information as CTs, so sometimes you just have to gamble. Do we play aggressively? Do we play passively? How do we expect that the opposition are going to play against us? And Luminosity they did it. They had very low utility. The AKs, they managed to play very well to get the pickoffs, and then they closed it down as a team. This is really awesome. This is so encouraging to see from them. Great fundamentals so far.
Just given the Fnatic an excuse to buy up though, we've got JW now on the AWP in a very aggressive position. You'll often see AWPers dueling in this area from where the T's are to where JW is, where both teams will be throwing flashbangs over the wall. That may come into play later when Yell's got a sniper as well, but for the time being, Yell will just win the duel with an AK. Luminosity looking really prepared. I can't wait to see how far he can get in this tournament. And Yell, he's been so dangerous on cobblestone so many times in ECS League. We've seen him, and it continues on LAN.
Oh dear, the defense has sort of collapsed, hasn't it? And now it's Crims onto the team to try to help things out. Obviously, Golden's tagged down very low. The Flames will do him in as Crims now starts to wrap around the statue. Good timing found. Catches PKL off guard. Now that's a crucial frag. There is a flank coming in at the same time. Do they have the understanding that Showtime's in the back? No, that's going to be it. I mean, if not for that flank, Fnatic, they actually stopped the push. They had a situation where Luminosity sort of stuck on the plateau, so it could have turned out very well. But again, just having the flank in play, it's just there's all these little bits of detail that we're seeing from Luminosity, and ever since they added Cello and Nekkers, it feels like they are a complete team finally, and it's really, really cool to see.
Yes, it's a stark difference from what we used to see from Luminosity. I'm quite liking these portraits, I have to say.
Yeah,
we need some like flamboyant portraits. They're facing the other way and like turning, looking behind them, right? Like the Hollywood red carpet poses. Fnatic broke now. They had their big buy and they got wiped out. And this is a problem matchup for Fnatic because I would say there's a quite significant level of unfamiliarity, even if they potentially played each other recently. The experience of Fnatic versus Luminosity will be quite limited, and I think that probably favors Luminosity as a team who will generally be less studied, especially new Luminosity. Yeah, so I'm enjoying this so far. 4-2-3. So let's see what the anti-eco is like for Luminosity. All the grenades flying into the B site, but most of the CCs are still intact at the moment. The USP coming to work from Lekro. Always good with the pistols, and there's a second kill. This is disaster for Luminosity.
Why is this happening, James? Oh, poor Luminosity. Oh no, the pistols coming out from the Swedes, and they just cannot hold it off. That's so terribly sad for Luminosity after all the hard work, all the hard-won rounds, eliminating that economy. To lose to the save round of Fnatic is just very depressing for the Brazilians, and Fnatic are going to be loving it, of course. They're in a spot where they're going to have some money left over because they were saving, so it's such a good position for them to be in. They've got the AWP there from JW, and wow, this is certainly going to be interesting now. I feel like we're going to start seeing sort of the swing rounds very soon between these two sides.
This kind of round, we don't really talk about enough because Fnatic they won the save rounds, but they won it with 3 players who picked up, I think, the AWP and 2 AKs. So that gives them a lot more money left over. It gives them an extra step moving forward. So we need to see how that plays into the coming rounds. 5-3 at present. So let's see how this one will continue. Luminosity, they're quite spread out across the map at the moment, waiting for the initial CT grenades to go before they can make some headway towards A, but there's less than a minute on the clock here, so Fnatic are holding Luminosity back for the time being.
Yeah, but they're running low on utility, which is very cool to see that we're having this sort of approach again from the Luminosity side. They know that Fnatic, if they play super slow against them, that's one of the effects of it. Maybe they'll find an aggression. This would be a great round for Fnatic to go for an aggression, but again, it can be too predictable sometimes. Crims will actually be the one to take the 1v1 there towards the inside of the map as we get the push coming in. Drop has been mostly eliminated there. Finally, Flusher will come in and finish it all off. It's down to Yell in the 1v3 with the AWP, and he's one of the reasons why we've seen a resurgence here, or rather, not even a resurgence, but just such good results from Luminosity. His AWPing is very explosive, and combined with the explosiveness of Nekis and Cello, that is one of the factors that has sort of made them a more of a complete team. But obviously not enough. 1v3, a very tall order, and 6-3 will be the scoreline. Fnatic starting to really generate a lead now, and with the save of Luminosity, we can't really expect. I mean, I guess we didn't expect Fnatic to win their save round, but on the T side, it's even more difficult, isn't it?
Yeah. No grenades. 3 Glocks. So there's not much that Luminosity have to work with. Not much they have to get a kill with. A tight choke point, and Flusher should have a field day with this. He may go down eventually, but he won't. That's a pretty tight choke point. So in normal cases, 5 versus 1 doesn't really matter what guns you have. That guy should be going down. But when the choke point is so tight and he basically gets 1v1s through a smoke, no less, it's he's got pretty good odds to take out 3 to 4 players. And manages to just finish off the last guy with the Deagle as well. Nice.
All right, well, this is really cool. I actually love this battle between these two teams. It's so interesting to see both sort of. Again, like you were talking about, that Luminosity, it may be more difficult for some teams to prepare for them, and I mean, Fnatic have always been the great equalizer in that sense. I think a big characteristic of their old style was the fact that they didn't even need to necessarily prepare, against opponents. They sort of just play their own style, and because they're very disruptive. They're a very disruptive team. If you're a team that does rely on your fundamentals a lot, they can just make things super weird. So they just always focus on their own style, and that confidence, rang true for them, and that's really how they sort of created their legacy. And that the return to that is this great mix of styles here. And even if Fnatic did prepare for Luminosity, if you have really good fundamentals, sometimes there's only so much you can do, and it does just come down to hitting those shots. So although that is something that the Swedish teams are great at doing, we'll see whether or not Luminosity can find a way forwards here. AKs with low utility, this did work out for them previously. They were able to get a quick 5v3. Let's see if they're able to do the same this time.
Had some nice grenade timing from Fnatic towards Plateau. Nekis managed to get away, avoiding most of the potential damage. I think we saw some smoke gimmicks from Flusher. Towards A-Long. Sometimes you see a deeper one there to get to the other side of the arch, which can take people by surprise. The T's won't often look for that position. See the boost not quite working out there. 4-on-4 with a minute on the clock. That does favour Luminosity, and perhaps we'll see more risk from Flusher, but Crims puts Fnatic in a stronger position, holding down the drop area, but the players around the tree have to be careful because Crims is only holding 1/2, but we see some aggression from Fnatic towards the plateau, trying to get some information, bait some shots from Luminosity. See if they are going for a push. Crims spotting more. Doing a good job of recon around the drop. It's another late smoke from the Swedes. 37 seconds left and the smoke's going down. And they've still got one more on JW. So they are going to contain the plays and drop, or at least try to. We might see some gambles there. Missing his first shot though is JW. Lecro's there with a nice angle to clean up, but JW gets picked off in the meantime. And now down goes the bomb. 1 versus 1. Yell is in position, but where is Flusher?
Yeah, really impressive trading out there from Luminosity to arrive in this position. I thought the smoke would just stagger the push and just completely screw them, but you look at Yell here looking for the clutch with the bomb down. Looks like he has a good read on the situation, and there is the headshot straight away onto Flusher, and that will be the round for Luminosity. That is pretty incredible, and again, it is sort of one of the things we're getting used to with this this new look Luminosity, probably one of the most, at least as far as ECS is concerned, definitely by far the most improved team season to season. So from that perspective, despite having their ups and downs, it's very exciting to see this out of them because, again, going toe-to-toe individually with a team like Fnatic really does say a lot. And so right now, once again, we've got sort of a topsy-turvy match here. Luminosity once again trying to take control, but they don't have a great degree of utility to work off of. That said, it didn't stop them on to the previous rounds in which they were to break Fnatic. And now it's Fnatic with low utility, forced back is Flusher, and also forced to use his utility early into the round.
Yeah, Scuddy manages to escape that situation. JW getting... How's he even there? JW, you're not supposed to be anywhere near that position. He was on a journey. He was on a pilgrimage, but the church was closed. 3-round lead for Fnatic remains for the time being. 1-man advantage for Luminosity, but they have to wonder what on earth is going on, considering where JW was. You see Yell checking everything. May want to make sure the toilets are vacant as well. It's a shame we never see people in the toilets, but if you do go in those porta puis, it does say that it's engaged. Off California, on Catalina Islands, where I go scuba diving sometimes, the only facilities are essentially porta puis, and it's not nice if you need to go in there. But enough about that. I don't wish a porta pui on any of you. I'll say that much. Counter flashes from Fnatic as the push tries to come in from Luminosity, but they... this is weird, they're jumping through the smoke, but then running back into the plateau again, or away from the plateau, so... Well, whatever they're doing, it seems to be working out. Maybe it was to throw some more flashbangs. Golden needs to stay alive here, needs to buy time for his team to rotate. He's dancing around the statue position, and there comes Flush with a second AWP shot and a third. Fnatic shutting it down, surviving with 3 players. AWP intact, AK's picked up. All good if Fnatic is your hood. What does this mean for Luminosity? Glocks. That's what it means. Glocks.
Yep. Never really a good sign, that is for sure. Well, again, it's just one of the maps where it's really hard to sort of do anything with the eco round as a T side. It's kind of why you like to have maybe like a couple flashbangs and a couple PT50s. Like you sort of need a little bit of something. The full save, you're just completely crippled. So we'll see exactly how Luminosity interpret this situation. Obviously, they're in a spot where they risk giving a lot of rounds away to Fnatic. Like Fnatic have, I feel like both these teams have worked really hard in a lot of these rounds to have a lead and advantage, and it's kind of crazy that Fnatic on the TT side have been doing so well, despite the fact that Luminosity have destabilized their economy repeatedly. So just got to throw props to Fnatic for stabilizing in that sense and being able to play confidently no matter what's going on. And we do have some, well, the forced buyout from Luminosity. Let's see if they can make anything happen. Yell creeping around the smoke, looking for something, and you'll find nothing. But he will make some noise for Fnatic. That's a small amount of information, but what does that tell them so far? Maybe not enough.
Deagle Decoy warns of impending danger, perhaps impending doom. Though I feel like the CT side has had a better time with the pistols. Fnatic well positioned. Initial engager, second guy to clean up there. Very nice around the connector position. PKL makes his way into the connector area, but he's sorry to drop, but he has been heard. And Fnatic are pretty content with their positions. Aggression from the CT side, and will not wait for Luminosity to execute whatever plan they have left over with their limited team.
That was a brave peek from Golden. Like, you're against pistols in a super tight, choke point, 5v2 or 5v3. It's kind of incredible to me. He just decides to go for that push, but that's like one of the things about this new Fnatic as well. Golden, obviously, he's been in the lineup for some time now, but obviously so new to the top tier professional scene, as well as being an in-game leader and also playing with the caliber of players he's playing with. It's one of the things that, despite all of the maybe the difficulty that he may have experienced in that journey, one thing that was never in question is that he can frag. And that's awesome, because we're definitely in an era where the in-game leaders must frag. And speaking of frags,
yeah, still on pistols, Luminosity, but that's a nice opening. Yell has an AWP. That is never a good situation if you're anyone but Luminosity. He is a really dangerous sniper for Luminosity and great fun to watch. We're asking a lot in this particular round, but there's a minute 20 on the clock, and you see the repositioning going on. Again, they don't know if there was aggression towards A, so they're going all the way through T-spawn as fast as they can, but he can definitely play for picks now, and he is really quick on the trigger finger, so we'll see what can be done. Only one smoke remaining on Fnatic, and that's Lecro, so we'll see if that comes into play. But he's over towards the B bomb site, and for now, Luminosity are headed towards A. Yell, turret on wheels. He is a Dalek. Ooh, he was teased, but he didn't even take the shot. Immediately, Fnatic retreat. I think that's a good idea.
Yes, that AWP is pretty scary right now. Definitely don't want to peek into that. And this is actually kind of a cool position because Luminosity, obviously, again, they're on that T side. They only have an AWP to work with and Glocks. So this is like so interesting. I mean, when do you see this? And the fact that they can move around the map, and Fnatic, they're too scared to push because you don't have the information. It's just it's cobblestone problems all over again. And so they're gonna have to just defend with the rifles, and it should go pretty well here. So get a triple there from Lecro, and surely that should do enough damage here. The AWP has been lost, and Crisis averted. Fnatic 10-4, and they continue their dominance, which has been pretty remarkable so far.
Yeah, it's good that Crim saw the rotation from B back towards A, so Fnatic were able to bolster the defenses towards the B bomb site. I think I might say that wrong way around. From A towards B. I always feel like B should be called A on Cobblestone, but there we go.
I disagree. Like, I can say why afterwards.
Okay.
If we want to get into that discussion. Do you think JW is disincentivized from playing aggressively? He's actually had a couple of times now where he's gotten caught off guard. That said, he's playing the broken wall gap, and there's a quick frag. JW now, the AWP becomes a shotgun for him, and that's almost just as comfortable. There's one, there's two. Can't quite get the third. Trading out on Luminosity pretty effectively. Now Crims arrives onto the scene. And Showtime once again with that late lurk. And now Crims in a horrible position. He will tap down one, but still, he's so worried about the flank. Oh, beautiful flashbang. Absolutely perfect there. Sets up Showtime. And Showtime will land the dunk. That's going to be 10-5. Luminosity picking up a round
Flush
at the
is
end.
24 for 5.
He's a beast, isn't he?
What? He's 24 for, he's almost 30 bombed in one half.
That is pretty quiet, isn't it? That's a pretty quiet 24 frags. I feel like we didn't see, a series of like 5,
He did get an anti-eco ace, but that's still 19 more kills to collect, so he's done his job. I think it's fair to say that he's done his job, at least in that half. But there's still more work to do for Fnatic. They need to capitalize on this 5-round advantage. Full Kevlar for Fnatic, no pop flashes, just meat shields. Luminosity will have PK on the defuse kit. That's a lovely one tap from Cello. One to look out for. PKO just going for the quick peeks to see any presence. Tees will often look for a CT in this position, so he just wants the info, and there it is. There's no rotation though based on that info. Yell is very alone on the B bomb site, and there are 3 players stacked towards A, and that might send a 4th player there. PKL though, he's keeping an eye on the drop area. Golden's trying to sell a fake, but maybe it's been detected.
Yeah, I love how the two teams are deciding to play this round out, and I see that we sort of had a B retake set up from Luminosity, and PKL, there's so much distraction towards A here. He's sort of alone, and Yell by the chicken coop, pinned down by the Glocks. Neck is coming in to provide some assistance, and it's going to be pretty damn good. It's a double for him as Luminosity will close down the rounds. And I felt like, again, Luminosity, they got the first kill. At that point, you're expecting a rush. They put 3 players towards A. That's like the hardest site to hold a rush from. And they were in forward position. They played retake on B. Again, just like great decision-making from the advantage, from the man advantage that Cello gave them. So, and that good decision-making is going to give them the edge they need into the CT side. Yeah,
both CT sides winning their respective pistols. So, we may get a competitive game yet. I look forward to the buy round to see if Fnatic have found a way to exploit the Luminosity CT defaults. I'm sure that the other teams will be keeping an eye on Luminosity as well, especially the European teams who will not get many opportunities to play them because it's not many lands that Luminosity have necessarily made in comparison to their opponents in this tournament. Oh, Fnatic up close to the pistols, and there are 2 players down immediately for Luminosity, heading towards the A side. Showtime has a lot to do here, and he won't do any of it.
Oh dear. Fnatic seems somewhat consistent. That's just basically throwing a novelty-sized wrench into the works of Luminosity. The clogs are piped. The what? The
clogs are piped? You put pipes in your clogs then.
Brilliant. Maybe that should be a thing. I should have gone with it. I should have gone with it. Well, I'm actually surprised how clogs are a thing. Like wooden shoes. How's that a comfortable thing?
Don't know, mate.
Who knows? Anyway, Fnatic causing lots of problems, and again, you sort of, although Fnatic showed Luminosity how dangerous it can be to play against a Force Buy. You kind of expect, I think, Fnatic to have the edge in those kinds of rounds anyway, so now to see Luminosity in that position, it's hard to have as much confidence that they can find a way as Fnatic did. So we'll see what Fnatic's approach is. Looks like it is actually towards A here, and some Luminosity players investigating.
So Fnatic, they had an outstanding league segment. Ooh. Maybe Luminosity will win one back on the CT side. Showtime's putting in some really good damage here. 3-on-3 though, advantage might still be with Fnatic here. We've got quick rotations into the A bomb site. Fnatic, many angles for them to check. Being really careful. Flusher shoulder peeking as precisely as possible. Doesn't know what's around the corner. That's going to waste time. That's going to allow Yell to flank. He's gone past JW, or has he? Oh, I think Yell's going to flank JW in the meantime, but JW started to move forward, so this is getting super weird. But Fnatic over towards A aren't really in a position to rotate to JW. I think he has to come to them.
And here it is. Just going for the challenges. It's a 1-for-1. That still really puts them in a great position for Fnatic because they've got this flank, although it's being looked for, and Nekis can't win the fight. JW quick to that one, and Yell, well, it's not a good position. He's got a UMP. Would really like a stray AK to be collected, but it's going to have to make it work. Actually opted to go for the CZ. They're a bit better at distance, and JW will shut it down. So these Force Buys, they're scary, but Fnatic do weather the storm.
Yeah, 12-6 is never the position you want to be in for any team because you've got half the score of your opponent. They are really close to taking the match. So, and Luminosity, at this point, if there's a 9-6 half, you end up at 12-6 when it's time to buy, but it's time to eco. This is a really, really bad situation for Luminosity. Yell taking one in the face. Showtime caught a grenade in his hand, and well, we weren't expecting much, but maybe it'll be a brief one. Lecro's done his job, 12 HP, can let some of the rest of his team take the mantelpiece now. There goes Nekis, and Cello's been spotted, so yeah, this is a rough, turning into a very rough match for Luminosity at the moment.
Yeah, and again, I feel like the score is really not, it doesn't really tell the story. And that's something that we often say in commentary. And we've had so many close rounds for Luminosity's sake. And if we had the situation where they're able to force the reset onto Fnatic, then they get reset by Fnatic immediately afterwards. Then again, if you look at how this has gone here as well, Fnatic they're just so annoying to play against in what is otherwise should be normal positions. They always cause surprises. And speaking of surprises, Nekis finding himself some aggression on the broken wall is going to be breaking Fnatic and their faces. There's 3 of them left.
Nice shot from Lecro. So strong on the aim, but he can't get the second player on this occasion. Showtime losing a duel with Flusher. But that should be a free one for Cello. Playing the information game. He wants to get both kills. Oh, he's messed it up! Okay, at least he finally got there. PKL dropped in the meantime, but Cello will clean up. He will make amends. So, see Cello, he's waiting. He's allowing the T to advance his position because the other T is not going to check where Cello's standing. So he wants to try and get 2, but as soon as he's going to lose sight of 1, he tries to pick him off, but he gets around the corner and makes things awkward. But they manage to right the ship Showtime will be on a UMP. See how that changes his position. Had some long-range duels which didn't work out in the previous round. But Fnatic are on the bye. They're keeping the pressure up with these AKs.
Yeah, and if Fnatic win this round, it's just Luminosity just so done. I mean, their economy's so terrible. Despite winning the round, just in position in a horrible spot. All it takes is just one thing to go wrong, and the stack of cards will just come tumbling down for Luminosity.
They may not get an opportunity for Yell to snipe in this half. Can you imagine that? He's such an important factor as well.
I think JW had, or rather his supporting team, I think Lecro, he had a grenade in his hand, so he couldn't actually trade when Yell peeked out to take the duel. That's a pretty big deal. And now Cello wins an aggressive play. Awesome stuff from Luminosity, taking the aggression into their own hands, and they've critted a 4v3.
Not for long though. Yell picked off by Lecro. Fnatic sharp aimers showing what they can do. And now we've got Cello. He needs to find a way to get into the B bomb site. Moving towards the door. We've still got two players around a drop, in and around the drop. One's halfway into B for Fnatic. But they've cut the noise, the Swedes. And because they're taking it slow, Cello's heading back towards A because Luminosity have no info. They have no idea what's going on. Golden has made a step, but nobody's close enough to hear it. So by playing it slow, Fnatic have turned a 3 versus 2 into a 3 versus 1, and now the round is over.
And that's kind of, again, just where, I mean, I was talking previously, I feel like Fnatic, one of the big strengths for them is that mid round. If they can get to the mid rounds, if they can force some situations where you have fights. This round it was actually Luminosity who were the ones sort of forcing the fights very early on, taking the aggressions. And you know, the previous round we saw that Nekis really just absolutely smashed it, found a great timing for the broken wall push. But this time was a little bit different in the end, as we saw, you know, some awkward situations there on timings around the plateau. But still, somehow, it's impressive that Fnatic can always just find their way back from these positions. So Cello will save the AK, but we saw how terrible the economy is for Luminosity. Oh, nice. Oh, wow. So yeah, this was absolutely the worst case for them. Fnatic reset their economy. At least there's an AK. But what do they do with this? How do they play with this? What would you do, James? What would James Bardolph do?
Well, the problem is it's cobblestone, right? You can buy some initial smokes and try to stop the T's from advancing, but it's really hard to get that weapon into an aggressive position to get 1, maybe 2 kills. So where do you go with it? Do you go for a boost? Like, there isn't even necessarily like a least likely position, although maybe there is, with Cello being the initial engager, but it doesn't work out. There is a team kill on the way, but it's all good in the hood. They're heading towards match point Fnatic, so it doesn't matter. Sometimes your teammates need to die, something for those of you at home to bear in mind as well. Sometimes it's not about saving you. Sometimes you must fall on your sword.
Yeah, poor Flush, who's off the 30 frags now. Sad times. But that's okay, he's got some time to get himself that nice round 30. We like round numbers. Do you like round numbers, James?
I like numbers of all shapes and sizes. I'm an indiscriminate number appreciator.
Oh, lovely. Well, that's it. 50-7. Fnatic on match point on Cobblers. Again, like, I really feel like both teams have played a great game. I honestly feel like, despite the scoreline, Luminosity have shown like great decision making, some great strategies and understanding, some good dueling, but Fnatic have just really found that something extra in these swing rounds to push Luminosity into this horrible position. And now it's down to the Deagles, the CZs, or the Deagle, singular, and 4 CZs. Good luck, Luminosity. You're going to need it in this one. Ooh, that nade putting Yell quite low. Dodging all the bullets, the refreshed smoke. Luminosity waits, and this is really smart from Fnatic because, again, we talked about this being a weakness of Luminosity in the past, actually, when teams play an or a force fight like this where they slow it down. And so Fnatic, they're playing it slow, they're forcing Luminosity to use all that utility, and they're doing it early enough into the rounds so that Fnatic can go for that late round attack and not get stopped by smoke grenades, which can cause a lot of issues. We've seen it so many times.
Poor Flash, not quite working out, but it kills will anyway. 5 versus 2 quickly made 4. Lekro on the high ground against his opponents, but how do they get back to the bomb? I don't know that the CTs will know that where the bomb is, so I think Lekro's just got to try and kill everyone in this situation. We saw an interesting line, I can't remember where it was, where the T side realized that they had to force the issue and take out the CTs as they came to him. Now, Lekro won't go Rambo mode. He's going to rotate and collect the bomb. He's got 20 seconds, though, so I do wonder about this because...
He can do this. I believe James. I'm a believer in this. Ooh. God, does he have time? Yes. Oh, he has time. Oh, no. Oh, it's so close. I think he's got it, actually. 3.5 seconds. I think he's got it. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
He's got a chance here, but another headshot comes in, but he can't get the kill onto PKL. The trade was too difficult. Well, I said the trade. He's alone. The follow-up was too difficult. But that's an insane effort from Lekro. Got to hand it to him. He really made a go of that.
Yeah, tough spot. He did the best he could, and it seemed to be pretty good.
So, I mean, it's a pretty big deal, too. I mean, if we consider Luminosity's position, they have no money whatsoever. Just like every kill that he got there, in addition, creates a situation where it's much harder for Luminosity to convert and try to close the distance on Fnatic's lead. As they, again, looking at a round where they struggle for utility. They're not going to opt for any UMPs. Actually going for the FAMASs instead. And, again, a light amount of utility. I think Yale was spotted there, potentially. A lot of damage taken once again. I feel like this has happened so commonly for Yale, where he starts these rounds with 30 health or so as he tries to get into position on plateau. And it can be an important position to help defuse big rushes on the early moments of a round. That Crow will eventually finish off Yale. Again, Yale seemed like dead from the beginning. Crim's creeping out. Not going to work out, though. Luminosity ready for that. And now we have Luminosity just holding their ground, and they're doing so well. Cello finding the headshots, looking for the next one. And the smoke as well to add insult to injury for Fnatic as the flank comes in as well. Or perhaps, or will it come in? Showtime is holding for now.
40 seconds remain for Fnatic. Still in possession of the bomb. Some dancing, some dueling, some teasing around the drop. PKL moving away just in time, but where is the second player? That seems to be the question. Flush of a great headshot around the boulder. And now it's a 2 versus 1 for Cello. Trying to stay alive, but he can't do it. Trying to buy time for Showtime's flank, and he's going to miss his shot as well as the player on plateau starts to move. But it's the bomb losing the duel, and Showtime, very patient, taps with the FAMAS. Manages to get another round for Luminosity. Big pressure on his shoulders, but they're almost up to double figures.
Again, it's a valiant effort so far from Luminosity, giving themselves another chance here. It's one of the reasons why we love Counter-Strike. It's never over until it's over. There's always a chance back in. So it's going to take some fortune, it's going to take some grit, determination from the Brazilians, and that's something that they have. And speaking of which, Crims really confidently bursting out of drop zone there, creating a disruption to the defense. Showtime elevated on this boost position, and that's Fnatic after sort of the big red button was pushed there for the quick rush up the mids. Will get eliminated. 15 to 10, another round for Luminosity. They're closing the distance, slowly but surely. But just as you said previously, James, we haven't really, the economy's never been there for Yale to have an AWP, which is...
Oh look, Sunbugger won 2,000 Faceit points.
Oh wow.
I won some Faceit points. I need to link my account.
Oh yeah, I actually have to do that too.
So just a reminder, if you don't know, go to gaming.youtube.com/Faceit. You can connect your YouTube account to your Faceit account and win some Faceit points. Neck is taken down early as Luminosity face match point versus Fnatic, who are using the same boost we saw earlier on from the Brazilian side. And perhaps that pick has forced Cello and Showtime to go on an expedition, a fact-finding mission towards Long A. Flusher looking to the left and the right, just in case. The pick comes in from Cello. I thought he was done for there, but he manages to get away with it.
They even had the double peek set up just in case it went wrong, which is awesome. Just the small details there on the team play, the spacing Really good from LG so far. Fnatic, though, this is, again, that territory where they can really do damage in the mid-rounds. Oh, Cello finds a good timing for a push, looking to get the information. He'll get more than that, the frags as well. And that's the rotation quickly coming in from Luminosity. There is still time to double back for Fnatic, so they must be cautious. But to solve that problem, they've got a flank set up. There it is, Yell, who's making his way through the Dragonlord Tapestry area at the moment as Crims creeps onto the site. He needs a quick kill. There's the snap, but it's showtime to find the heads. And Letcrow, he doesn't really have a position to find a frag to force an engagement.
Spotted now, repositioning CTs. Just about getting there towards the end of the magazine. Or is the clip, still can't remember. But this is getting somewhat worrisome now for Fnatic. They need to win a round. Just the one. That will do. Nice pick there from Cello. And he continues to be a nuisance. Again, Cello, one to watch out for at this LAN, for sure. There's a nice angle from Showtime in CT Spawn, taking a weird angle that you wouldn't necessarily pre-fire. So, nice stuff from him. We have Fnatic moving in with 1 AK and a bunch of dangerous pistols. This could be enough for Fnatic. Oh! Yo, that's a lot of dots on his radar.
Yeah, that was scary. Drop could be salvation for Fnatic, or it could be the graveyard of Fnatic. We'll see very shortly. PKL finds the information, going for the challenge. And right now, one of the important things for Luminosity is they are holding on to Plateau. And not only that, Neck is going forward for more. That is outrageous, and he will be punished for that. PKL still holding on to Drop. Luminosity have rotated everybody. They're in a good position as Fnatic boost out. This is weird.
It's really annoying, though. More on the CT side, when you're trying to jump on the crate and you fail, because that sound cue is more than enough for the T's to realize what you're trying to do. So, got to be really careful about those jumps. Fnatic quickly rotating towards the A site. PKL maybe pulled away from the connector position, and he's the only person there, which means we might see a fast flank coming in, but he'll go down just with the 1 kill. 2 versus 2, and Fnatic, they've got position, they've got weapons, and they have Kevlar as well.
Again, Fnatic creating an awkward position for Luminosity to deal with, and Showtime with the high flash, but Letcrow safe by the APC, looks for the headshots. Showtime! That is such an important 1v1 to win. Now down to the IGL, to Golden, the new man, who has shown time and time again that he can do it all, especially the clutches by second player. Yell, though, finally with that AWP in hand. We've been waiting so long to see that for Luminosity. And there is the defuse coming in for Luminosity. 12 rounds now, James. They are 3 away. Can they make this happen? What an amazing... this is just an awesome game right now. This is again, it's the first game of the finals, but this is perhaps one of the best cobblestones I've seen in a while. I'm just very enthralled by how both teams are playing and how back and forth this is. And just also the grit from Luminosity. They're really hanging in there. Yeah.
Again, this is a great opportunity for Luminosity to earn their stripes, to demand respect from their opponents. A team who haven't been on the radar for very long at all, but definitely could be deserving, dependent on their performance here in Cancun this weekend.
Wow.
Cello, again, relentless aggression, finally getting taken out. But 4 versus 3. Looking, it's psychological warfare now.
This is amazing. They're 1 round away from losing, for so long. And yet, just look at, they're just going ham. They're just pushing everything as the CTs. That is not something, you would never see that from the old Luminosity, I would say. This is so cool to see. And look at the position again. They put Fnatic in. Fnatic, Golden is on 16 HP. He cannot really take a 1v1. He's got to, sort of pivot off of his teammates there. They have to be the main actors in this push. Golden is going to flash and fall back a little bit. Yell on the angle as well. Very dangerous position. If Yell's able to get the kill onto Golden, if Golden is to try to push with his teammates and coordinate from drop, then that's probably it. Yell's position will be too strong, but his teammate will go down. There's a chance here, but Yell can save the day. Bomb down on Plateau. He's got a teammate to play off of. Here is the flank. Yell misses the shot, and now it's down to Showtime again. He's not given us a reason to doubt him just yet in this matchup, but he's against Letcrow.
Letcrow, 20 seconds, he can't rotate. He's got an AK though, and it's Letcrow, so despite being low health, they could entirely just shoot Showtime straight in the face, taking another tag, I think. 12 seconds to cross to the site and plant this bomb. This is a high-risk situation. Does he commit to the... Oh, he's committing to the duel. 5 seconds left. 4, 3. Showtime doesn't realize. Oh, it's too late. He tries to get back towards cover, but Lekro's gamble pays off. 32 kills, even overtaking Flusher towards the end. 16-12 for Fnatic.